Pest Startup 101 podcast. Thanks for tuning in. And in this episode, we're going to talk about not helping your competition. Do not help your competition. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Think about it. Just repeat the sentence. Helping your competition. That does not make any sense. Now, I'm still suffering from this delusion that we are here to help each other out, which is true. We are. We're here to share information as far as education on products. You don't want people potentially killing someone or potentially poisoning a pet or an animal or a child, God forbid, and, do anything crazy like that. So everyone needs to stay educated. We all need to be on top of our games. But with helping your competition, then you are essentially helping them defeat you. And does that make sense? So upon starting this business, my pest business, when I first started out, before I even had an employee, before I ever had an employee, ever had an office, I was working out of my house and running around and doing stops. I was, if you've listened to previous episodes, I worked for a friend of mine when I transferred, when I left the big corporation, when I left Terminex. I went and I was helping my friend who had his business, and I was helping him as a technician while still working on my business. So I just immediately after starting the business, just registered, just had the website, just set everything up. I moved an hour away and from where we were, where we just set up shop, where I was working at for Terminex for years. And I went back to the city, and I was working for someone else while having my business. Now, if you're in a similar situation and your boss, he knows about your business and he understands when you're working from him and you're trustworthy when you're working for him, you're going to do his stops the right way, but you're still going to grow your business. And then when it's time to go. You have enough saved. You've put enough work in that now you can handle doing both. It's normal for you to leave, okay? That's normal. Keeping in contact with your previous boss, or if you bump into another pest business owner at a conference or at a pest supply store and you guys chat up and you guys have lunch and you guys exchange numbers, friendly communication is fine. Now, when I say do not help your competition, I mean do not give details on how you get your stops. Now, to learn that information, let me give you an example. You go to our site, to peststartup101.com. Shameless plug. You buy an ebook. The ebook, let's say, is $30. Now, most of the stuff on the ebook you already knew. You went on YouTube, you learned it, right? Let's say you learn how to start a Facebook ad campaign. You learn through Facebook. And Facebook tells you how to learn how to do a Facebook ad campaign. But if you check on Facebook, it's very hard to find a Facebook ad campaign video where it specifies for pest control. But let's say you still went on there and you went for another service business because it's similar, and you copied that and you did the ad, right? And you paid $30 for the ebook. And then with paying that $30, you got specific knowledge on creating, targeting specific customers for your field, for your pest field, right? And you're targeting your 10-mile radius. You're just starting out, or you're targeting out your town, your city, and you're putting ad money towards that. Now, why the hell would you go ahead and bump into someone you just met or someone you know who has not put in the work that you have, who has not done the research that you have, and then you go and you give them that little nugget that you picked up from the ebook? You read the whole ebook, and you're like, oh, my God, I knew most of this stuff, but the stuff you didn't know, you applied that. And that little bit of knowledge that you picked up from the ebook, that right there doubled your sales. That right there shifted the Facebook, the Google landscape for your ads. It completely, you restructured it just from a few little minor tweaks, and all of a sudden the calls started pouring in. Now, this is not a promotion for the book. This is a shameless plug for the book that's coming. This is a shameless plug for the website. But this is actually what happens. This is what happens. I go around and I'm searching for pest control knowledge, and I keep buying books and they're telling me the same stuff, and it's like they copy and pasted it. And then but you pick up small little things, and you don't realize with those little pieces of information, you've grown as a person, as a pest control technician, as a pest control business owner. And then that knowledge, you're just giving it away. You're just giving it away to your competition who didn't have to struggle at all. And what they do with that information is, because you had to spend your $30 to buy that ebook, they didn't have to spend the $30. They take that $30 that's in their pocket that you spent on your book, and they put that towards the ads. And then, so let's say, so right now they're putting $30 towards the ad. That $30 gets them one sale, and it snowballs from there. They're still living at home with their parents, or they're just starting out as a 20-year-old kid. He's just starting out, and you're, let's say 25, 26, and you've been on the grind for 2-3 years, and 4 years, 5 years, because it takes a few years of experience before you can get the full commercial license to be able to open a business. So let's say you put in the years, and this guy started at 18, he's 21. He put the 3 years in, he just opened up shop. First thing he does, steal customers from his boss. Then he bumps into you at the pest supply store. He doesn't tell you he stole customers from his boss. The first thing he did, he contacted all the customers and swiped 50 customers from the boss. So he already has a leg up. He doesn't even know how to advertise yet. He's already got 50 customers right there, locked in, already in the system. Then he goes and buys supplies for them. He's all happy, bumps into you. You give him that free nugget. He goes and sticks $30 in. Let me try it out. And he's killing it on the ads. And then guess what? Because he's clicking, or because he's creating those ads that are very, very similar to you, targeting the same people that you are, then the price for a click for that customer goes up, because now there's competing people competing for that audience, competing for that market. And then you essentially screwed yourself. And now you're paying double. This is not to mention that when you create ads, you get random people clicking on your ad, which costs you money for no reason. They click on the ad, 2 seconds later, they're off the site. So you can't tell if it was a bot that did it, that clicked on your ad just to drive up, This is another little tip. There are bots and there are companies that they click on ads. They search on, let's say, they're saying, let me see what the competition is doing. Let me search for bed bug service near me. And then they see all the people on the top page. They're like, whoa, I never heard of this company. And they click on your ad, costing you money. They look at your site for 2 seconds and they jump off. And that costs you $2. That costs you $5. That costs you $10, depending on the lead generating site that you're using. You're getting charged per click. Some people actually call. They'll click on the link to call you, which costs even more if you do the click to call action. And then they call you just to get a price, just so they can see what you're charging for to compare with their business. I mean, I've Googled companies, but I've never clicked on the ad. I'll scroll down, or I'll see the name of the business in the ad, and then I'll Google that business and go to their website and not click on the ad, because I'm considerate that way. And there are many people that are considerate that way. But again, helping your competition, it just does not make any sense. Now, we are saviors of the planet. One time, my old boss, when I left Terminex and I went to help my friend out, it's kind of weird calling him a boss, but yeah, he was my boss. I respect the chain of command. When I work for you, you are my boss, and I do things the way that you want it done. And if you say this is how we exterminate for bugs, this is what we use. This is not my company. I do it your way. And hey, we get 5 follow-up calls because of it, because you want to go cheap, then that's what happens. Not that this is what he did. He uses top of the line stuff. And I learned that when it was time for me to buy stuff for my company, and I kept getting calls. I kept getting callbacks because I was using cheap stuff. And then the warehouse lady said, yeah, Caesar, but it's because you keep buying the little $30 bottle, the little $30 little pint of chemical. Of course you're going to get callbacks. Even if you double that stuff up, sometimes it doesn't work. So, she then I had to call my old boss and my old boss friend, and we laughed about it. And he said, "Okay, now you're learning." And he never told me. I mean, I worked for him, so I knew what he used, but he never told me, "Hey, don't use this cheap stuff." I never asked really. But helping out your competition is like putting weights. Is like strapping another weight on your back, like putting weights in you're carrying a backpack and you're just adding more weight to your back and making it harder for your business to grow. And it's great to be friendly with people. I've learned this the hard way. Trust me, listen to this. And please, if you can avoid this, this little flaw that I have, and that is I love to educate. I love to tell people things. I mean, I blab away. When I get started, I get going. It's a trait I picked up from my mom, and me and my family, we joke about this. If you ask me a question, I tell you the God's honest truth, and I will ramble for a few minutes. So with that trait, all these new guys had to do was come up to me and say, "Hey, you started this. I'm starting my own company. What should I do?" And then I tell them the basics. You tell them, "Hey, you got to incorporate. You got to be legit. You have to have insurance. You have to register with your county." You tell them the basics. But then here's the thing. Here's the helping your competition. They don't even want to look for that information. They don't want to look for the DEC. They don't want to go. They don't even want to research where they have for the form to register their business. They don't want to do any of that. They want you to tell them, and you can tell them verbally, and then they'll text you and ask you to send them the link just so they won't have to look. They have Google just like you do. You have to make them put in the work just like you did. It's not fair for you to do all this work and do all this research, and then they come and then you send them everything that you've learned for free, and then they just hop past you in a year. When I started my business, went and worked for my friend. I left my friend. I had customers call me. I said, "I don't work for him anymore." I wouldn't even tell them that I started a pest control company because I didn't want to deal with it. I just told them, "Oh, I'm not working for him anymore." Why? "Oh, no, it was just because we had an agreement that I was going to leave after a certain amount of time." That was my excuse, so I didn't have to say anything negative about the company, which there was nothing negative to say. It was just so they wouldn't get anything in their heads. I would say I had to leave, as they knew about me having 2 kids and all of that stuff and my kids growing up, and I was working 6 days a week. And because it was a Christian company, they didn't work on Sundays, similarly to Terminex. And yeah, so that was my way. But other guys, 2 other guys specifically, there's been more. They leave and they start their own thing, and they would call, and I would always go the extra mile. They'd ask me a question, I'd answer it. I'd give them the what I did, how I lost money. Hey, you shouldn't do this because I lost money here. So I lost $300, and then they get to avoid that step because I gave them that little nugget there, and they skip that. So okay, let's say you want to do that. You want to tell people don't use Yelp because this happens. But then you lost $300, $400, $500. They skip that step. So right there, they're saving that money, using it towards something else that's generating them more sales, and then they're skipping you. So then what happened was I've been in business for a couple years, working for my friend, and then I branch off on my own. And then this guy just started, and 6 months into it, he has 2 employees. He has an office. He has family members helping him too on top of the employees, and he's blowing up. And I'm looking like, what the hell? How did this happen? And it's not because of me. I mean, they did that because of hard work, working day and night, and all of that. But I definitely contributed to that, and I feel kind of funny about that because when I ask for, let's say, info, or I ask for a little nugget, then I get the runaround. I get the vague answers where they don't tell me, but it doesn't click until after I hang up the call. So pay attention to this. This is for, I mean, there's people that they pick up on these things as they're having the conversation. Then there's people like me that after you hang up, you analyze the conversation, you realize, holy crap, we just talked for 20 minutes. I gave them all my information. I just broke down my whole route. I just broke down, hey, I got 2 stops today, 5 stops tomorrow. I'm not making any money. And they didn't tell me anything. And we were talking for 20, 30 minutes, and they didn't tell me anything. What the hell's going on? And because there are people that are experts at this, and these people, they learn from other people's mistakes, and they get ahead. They charge more than you because they knew to charge more than you because you gave them the information. You told them before they even got started. And those little nuggets right there help them hop over you and get ahead of you. And you know, I just hope that when you're giving, you're receiving as well. But, you know, when things really started taking off and started getting better was when I stopped giving information. Because when you stop telling people your business, when you stop telling them business details and giving them information and sending them, here's the link, so they don't have to do any research, they don't have to bounce around for 20, 30 minutes on the website. You're bouncing around all day. One day you have no stops. You're bouncing around to lead generating websites, creating accounts, and spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all these different lead generating websites to find the right one that works. And then you spent $1,000 on 10 different sites, $100 on each just to test it out. And then you're just going to give that information away. And that guy's going to take that $1,000 and put it into that one site and leap past you and get 20 stops. And then you're like, oh yeah, I just got 2 stops off the site. Now I'm going to put money into it. And they're like, yeah, I've been getting 20 stops off of it. And you're competing against them. You guys are competing against the same site, for the same leads. All of a sudden, when you look at the lead generating site and it says 4 other pros are competing against you, his name is on the list, his company's on the list, or her. So this podcast is a little longer than the others is because I'm very passionate about this one. And I think that to grow, you have to let people grow. You have to do just that. Let them grow and let them learn on their own. And by doing that, you will grow at your pace and they will grow at their pace. So you'll still spend $1,000 to learn which lead generating site was the right one for you, and then you started growing. But then because you didn't share that with someone else, you didn't have to compete. When it was time for you to put the step on the gas and put all your money towards that one site that's working, then you don't have to compete against anyone else when you start giving it away to your 2 other competitors, and then they start doing it, and then you're competing against them. Because what we all like to think is we're all in competition against the big juggernauts, against the big Terminex and Orkin and Rent-A-Kill, who are, you know, this merged big conglomerate, global killers. When you compete against them, then you as a little guy, you're like, hey, we're up against them. But no, you're up against everyone. You're up against, there could be another pest control company 5 blocks away from you where you are. And when you both advertise on the neighborhood app, you're both advertising to a certain range of where you are. You know, when you advertise on the neighborhood app, let's say, or Facebook Marketplace, you're advertising in a grid, in an area. So you're marketing 2 miles, 3 miles away from you, from your location, which is what you use on the app. And those people are doing the same thing. So you guys are targeting the same people. So now, how does it help you by you telling them, hey, I use neighborhood app, and I picked up 3 customers this week. And then first thing they do is they go home and they're on the neighborhood app and making accounts. Or they're right away they're creating an account and ramping up their ads there. But you went through 10 different sites before you found that one. All right? And if a person asks you, I mean, it's up to you, of course. I mean, it's only my opinion. It's up to you, but I am now the firm believer that everyone needs to grow at their own pace, and you do not need to be giving these people information that's going to hinder your growth. And when you start doing that, when you start focusing on your business and on yourself, you will still grow at the same pace. You will grow, and you will be a smarter, better business owner or technician because you did it the right way. Not that, you know, anybody a person that goes and leaves the company and takes customers from them, they still think that they're doing it the right way. So that's all up to you, the right way. But by not helping your competition, you will grow a lot faster. You will go a lot further in a shorter amount of time. I guarantee you that, because, hey, I mean, it can't help. It can't hurt, you know? And when you stop giving these people free information, when you start talking to them on a friendship level, these competitors, and you don't want to give them details, they magically stop calling you. I mean, the ones that weren't meant to be there and be connected to you, they'll stop calling you. So, and listen, that's just time that's being taken away from your position, from your focus. These people calling you, talking to you for 30 minutes because they don't know where to go, and they're trying to fish information out of you. That's just hindering your growth. You need to just, if they stop calling, better for you. You take that time and use it towards your business and grow, and stay focused. And if you're a technician, and the best thing about being a technician, I'm going to tell you, if you're a technician, you're not an owner, and you don't have your sights on being an owner. Let's say you just want to make $80,000, $100,000 a year, and you're a technician and you're listening to this podcast. We will be making episodes on how you can grow in your business, in the business that you work in, where you're an employee. And the best way to do it, the best way is to be completely transparent with your boss and whoever's in charge. And when you have your route, taking notes is very important, and communication with the office is going to get you a long way. And of course, commission. If you can get commission on sales, that's going to get you even further. But we'll be talking about that in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Stay focused. For you business owners, please keep learning, and try things out. And then what works, keep pouring gas on that fire. And then you start, taking gas from the other places that you're putting into. So if one site is not working and one is, then hey, I'm not saying turn off the other one completely. You might want to leave a couple dollars over there, but then you want to pour some more gas on the one that's working until it stops, and just keep flipping it and making some money. All right? Stay safe out there. We are dealing with chemicals. We are climbing ladders. We are going through attics that we can fall through the ceiling or, step on a nail. Be careful out there, guys. Stay safe, all right? Check peststartup101.com. Ebooks is coming soon. We're going to have free downloads, all that stuff. It's taking a little while. We're moving offices, and it's a headache, and the video content is going to be coming soon. But please check out the YouTube as well, and subscribe to the YouTube. Thanks.